Gardening can sometimes be bewildering, which is why I am so pleased that we have snuggled up with our friends at Crocus for this podcast series. As you probably know, Crocus is the most trusted online gardening brand. Their website is stuffed full of advice, inspiration, and of course, plants and products to help bring your dream garden to life. Check out Crocus's website to find out more. If you find something that you just cannot resist, use the code Scribehound20 at the checkout to enjoy 20% off all full-price plants until October the 31st, which is, of course, Halloween. Hello. My name is James Alexander-Sinclair, and I am here today on the Scribehound Gardening podcast with Mr. Joe Swift.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever time of day you're listening to this.
Which could be at any time that you wanted to.
Yeah, I hope you're having a lovely breakfast, lunch, tea, supper, as I call it. Some people call it dinner.
Or having a dog walk, or possibly, and this may come as something weird for a podcast like this, you could perhaps be doing some gardening.
Well, I hope people are gardening. I think that'd be lovely. Well, I mean, we're probably ruining it for them, actually. They can imagine they're away doing a bit of deadheading. What would you be doing at this time of year?
Well, I mean, I think it's always getting into one of my favourite moments, which is turning the compost. I quite like doing that.
Yeah.
That's quite sort of vigorous and physical. And I'm not often vigorous and physical, but I am when it comes to compost turning.
Once a year then?
Deadheading, at least twice a year.
Twice a year.
At least twice a year. Okay. Deadheading, I deadheaded all my roses.
I hope you don't deadhead vigorously, because that would look a bit silly.
No, you want to deadhead. What's the word? What's that word that's very, very fashionable? Not momentously. What is it when you're in the moment?
What? Well,
meditatively,
mindfully.
You need to deadhead mindfully. Whereas compost, you don't have to deadhead mindfully to compost mindfully at all.
Only a compost heap's
you can
great.
just do it. And
I haven't got my compost heap going. I've got sort of mounds of stuff all over the garden. I haven't actually turned it into an official compost heap.
I'm going to stop you right there. Because if you talk about compost now, we won't be able to talk about compost in a future episode, which is what I think we would like to do.
We're doing a composting special, aren't we?
Yeah, we're doing like what we want is we'd like people to send in questions about compost.
Yeah.
Maybe photographs of their compost.
We could do a composting marathon.
Well, maybe.
Like we could see if we, do a 24-hour composting chat.
Well, we could do that, couldn't we?
Yeah, but we'd both be compost by the end of it, wouldn't
we? We have other things that we need to do. So basically, the idea of us being here is to talk about a subject, and then people will send in questions for us. Mm-hmm. We have a subject for today. But before we get onto that, we need to settle something. Because for the last, I don't know, it feels like 932 episodes.
Yeah.
We've been talking about the gnome.
Gnaming the gnome.
About gnaming the gnome. And I think rather than just talk more about gnaming of the gnome, which would just bore the hell out of everybody listening, let's gname it.
Let's get on and gname it.
Okay, what are our options?
Well, we've had some good ones, actually, haven't we? I like Gnomeo.
Yeah, there's been quite a lot of good ones, haven't they? Gnomeo.
Gagari is brilliant.
I know that you're captivated by Gagari. I think it's quite like, it's a Welsh thing, isn't it? It's like Llywelyn. It's Chali.
Oh, is that how you pronounce it?
I think so.
Oh, right. No, I would. Unless you can pronounce it Gagari, there's like Harry. Then there's Harry.
There's Gnorbert. There's another option.
Yeah.
There was one.
Oh, gnome. We had a gnome Chomsky.
Yeah, we thought that was a very sophisticated.
Chomsky.
Except that but then I looked up on the internet, and there is actually a gnome Chomsky that exists already. That's named and is being held by Noam Chomsky. Oh. Noam Chomsky, just for people who don't know, well, like me, is a philosopher, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a philosopher and a linguist, I think. I might have Googled him.
Anyway, he's has a gnome named after him already, so I feel it would be treading on his toes to steal that name.
Yeah.
What else did we have? What we say at this moment, in this next few seconds, is crucial and key. Because nobody else can change it once it's actually out there on the airwaves. And my vote, you know what my vote is?
I do know what your vote is.
And your vote?
Well, I've changed my vote.
Okay.
So that we can make a decision.
Have you spoilt your ballot?
No, I've just changed my mind, which you're allowed to do in this process.
Okay, so it's got to the point where you're in the ballot box.
Yeah.
The curtain is drawn behind you. You've got a little stub of pencil in your hand, and you have to put your X next to the name. And which name are you putting your X next to?
Well, we've discussed this.
I know. Well, I'm just getting a bit of
Oh, you're building it up.
Yeah.
I see. I'm going for none of the goods. None of the goods. We are going for Jekyll.
Jekyll.
Jekyll. That's what we're doing.
Jekyll.
It's out there now.
The gnome. I think it's good. Jekyll. I think it's great.
Do you think Gertrude would be upset?
Why would she be upset?
I don't wanna
She's
upset
being
Gertrude.
immortalised
Okay.
on the Scribehound Gardening
A little
podcast.
green shiny gnome.
People have wanted us to do this. I mean, it's only one gnome. This is the other thing. The gnome that we're naming, the gnome that we're naming is the gnome that we own. We can't name everybody's name.
Oh, everyone
names.
can name their own gnomes.
If you win a gnome, you can call it whatever you want.
Gotcha.
If you want to go Gagari, then you can go Gagari. If you want to go Norbert, you can go Gnorbert. You know, you can do any double thing. If you want to go Michael, you can go Michael.
Why would you go Michael?
Because
that was another one we had. We had the boat face, the gnome face, or you're gonna have one of those.
We had that. We have. You can call it that. I think Gnome McGnome face or something along those lines.
Yeah.
So our gnome that lives in this studio and belongs to you actually.
It does actually.
Is called Jekyll hereinafter, and Jekyll will be the gnome who gives out all the other gnomes, who sends the other gnomes that are now currently in a box underneath my bed out to anybody who asks a good enough question.
Excellent.
We will get on to questions in the second part of this podcast.
We will.
At the moment, what we're talking about is, do you remember a few weeks ago?
No, I can't remember a few weeks ago. Neither of us can.
We did a sort of garden tourism where we went all over the world and visited gardens.
Yeah.
We went to Australia.
While sitting in a studio.
While sitting in this place. We took the viewer through the power of their imagination to the far-flung corners of the globe.
We did.
We went to China, we went to Japan, we went to India. We went all over the shop, basically, didn't we? And taking inspiration from that, because I find that everybody at Scribehound Headquarters tends to take inspiration from what we say, we are having a special during August where all of the 30 writers are writing about a garden with whom they have a certain connection.
That's right.
A garden that has meant something to them. So I thought we could talk about that a bit more. So which garden have you chosen?
Have I
to
chosen?
write about? Yeah.
What if it hasn't come out yet? What?
It hasn't come out yet, but they can say, I'm looking forward to that.
Tee it up.
Tee it up a bit.
So I was going to go for Hampstead Heath, which apparently is not a garden. But I didn't. There are gardens within Hampstead Heath. But anyway, I thought that was a little bit confusing. And then it was getting a bit too nostalgic because apparently, it's not all about nostalgia. It's about great gardens from all over the world. I think the majority have gone for gardens in the UK, though.
I think so.
Then a few have gone abroad, which
I
is
have
fine.
gone abroad.
Yeah, well, and we're not talking about your one yet.
I know, but I'm just saying I've gone abroad. We're talking about yours. So it's not Hampstead Heath.
Sometimes I wish you would go abroad a little bit more often, to be honest. No, so I've gone for and it's not a floriferous garden. It's not a fancy garden. It's not an aesthetically beautiful garden, but it's a great garden, the Gibbard Garden in Essex. Where we have been, and we made a silly video years ago with Cleve.
We did. We made a very.
So which is probably still out there on YouTube somewhere.
It will be out there under the Three Men Went to Mow YouTube channel. It will be sitting lurking.
Yeah.
It was a sort of black and white. It was like nostalgic. It was quite. But it's a good garden. There's a lot of sculpture in that.
It's
garden.
a great garden, but it's not. It's not a flowery garden. He was a town planner and it was his own garden, and he's really interesting, obviously quite an eccentric man. He's built a castle there. He's got vistas. There's, sculpture, like you say. There's objet trouvé.
Oh. There's some columns, aren't there?
There's some columns from Cootes Bank.
That's it.
That are there with acanthus planted at the bottom. And that echoes the acanthus at the top of the columns as well. That were carved into the stone.
Are they objet trouvé or objet niqué?
Yeah, he was part of he didn't steal them, but there was a huge delay in the rebuilding of Cootes Bank or whatever happened, because he said, I want those. And anyway, the train came to the end of his garden pretty much, and and offloaded them, but it delayed the reconstruction or whatever.
I do like the idea of a train coming to your garden to look, because I think that's what happened at Exbury. You know Exbury Gardens in the New Forest?
I do.
I think that they brought in train loads of ericaceous soil in order to get the garden sorted. So they basically had a train line that ran into the garden, and then when they finished, the train backed out. And maybe actually there's a train still there. Maybe it's the same one.
How sustainable?
Well, I mean, it's better a train than a load of lorries.
No, I'm talking about the ericaceous compost.
Well, I mean,
let's bring in just 100,000 tons of ericaceous compost so we can grow some rhododendrons.
I think that's what happened. I'm not 100% sure. I may be slandering the Rothschilds, which is probably a really bad thing to do.
Oh, yeah. Hang on. Is our legals up to date?
We better check on that one.
Okay, so I've gone for the Gibber Garden, which is just a really interesting garden. And actually, it's grade 2 listed now, which not many sort of post-war gardens are.
Yeah.
So, and I encourage people to go, and if they've got children or, it's just a really lovely day out. We had a lot of very memorable days when our kids were young in the castle. There's a giant swing, and we used to say to the kids, if you said to the kids, we're going to go and see a garden, they'd go, no. You say, do you want to go up the castle, raise the flagpole and go on that giant swing? Oh, yeah, we're up for that.
Yeah, much more fun. Much more fun.
And it's about an hour from Hackney, so it was perfect.
Okay, so I think that's a good garden. Is it a great garden?
Yeah, it's a great garden.
We're going to come back to that in a minute.
Yeah, it's a great garden.
It is a great garden. Okay,
well, for me, it's a great garden. But it's, I know what you mean. There are gardens that have elevated, that have teams of gardeners and putting out the bedding and the bulbs and, the long borders and the, huge estates and all that sort of stuff.
But I'm not even sure whether that necessarily makes a garden great. It's the fact that it's had a lot of money and a lot of effort spent into it. I think it's more about...
This is a gem, a little gem.
A little gem. And okay, well, let's hope that we don't spoil it by telling everybody to go
and
visit it.
And it's not that little. It's 9 acres, so
it's good. It's decent. It's a decent garden. It's fun. So I've gone for an abroad one.
Have you?
Yeah, I've gone for one in California because I went to California a couple of years ago, whenever it was, and we went to this place called the Huntington Library,
right?
Which is basically a garden which is pretty much cactus.
Okay.
Lots and lots of cacti. I never thought cacti were very exciting, but actually I find it very emotional. So there's lots of different gardens here. At Huntington, which is somewhere in California. Didn't really like California very much.
Well, James, we just lost half of our listeners.
We're big in California. Now I love it.
Now I love it. Well, now you're writing about it. You must love it, yeah?
I do. There's bits of it. The countryside is amazing and all that kind of stuff. But the garden, I think there are 15 gardens. So there's like a rose garden and a Chinese garden and a Japanese garden, all of these.
All in Huntington?
At Huntington.
Okay.
Huntington, not Huntingdon.
That's what I said, Huntington.
Huntington. And then, but I wasn't very interested in those gardens.
But the cactus garden, how did it? I'm interested in the emotional outpouring. Why did it get to you?
I don't know. It's quite a weird thing. You know how sometimes you walk into a garden and it gets you.
Definitely.
I mean, a lot of the time, you and I have seen a lot of gardens in our lives, and sometimes you go in there and say, yeah, been there, done that, seen that before. Nothing there that's going to get me. And then every so often you go somewhere like you did at Gibbard, and like I did at Gibbard when I went to see it as well. Mm-hmm. And then the other place we went to see together that I think was very emotionally affecting was Anglesey Abbey. Do you remember when we went to that? And you go down, and then suddenly this is all revealed.
Lovely. Well, there's a lovely winter walk there.
Yeah, exactly. Beautiful. We went there in the winter, and it was snowing. And there was this sort of grove of silver birch at the end, which you weren't expecting. So, and that's an emotional draw to a garden as well. And just to walk along this path and to have I had no idea what any of these plants were called. They were just basically cactus, and there were round bobbly ones, and there were tall wavy ones, and
echinocactus,
and all of that. Yeah, all of that kind of stuff. Yeah. And I just found the whole thing really quite affecting, which I think is a sort of mark of a great garden. So on that subject, we were talking about it earlier, and we're going to take a leaf from Mr. Trump's book.
Yes, we are.
We're going to have a MAGA, which is going to stand for
make. Make all gardens great again.
Yes, that'll do it.
Was it all?
I don't know whether it was all, but that'll do now. We've said it now.
Make all gardens great again.
Yeah, exactly.
MAGA. Yeah, I'm gonna get a MAGA hat. I'm not going to get one of them actually. And walk around all the NGS gardens with my MAGA hat on.
Exactly. Mega. It's going to be
MAGA.
Maybe we can have a mega movement.
Make all gardens great again.
Make all the gardens great, okay. But yeah that's assuming that they were
it.
great in the first place. So we're going to be looking for great gardens, and we're going to, I mean, we can keep doing this for ages. We can talk about great gardens, but this is what this month is going to be about. All of our writers are going to be talking about garden that they think are great.
Yeah.
And what we want to like, I mean, we'd like to know whether people agree. And whether they say, yeah, we think that's quite good, or we don't think that's great, and we suggest this one. We'd like this to be a sort of conversation with our listeners and subscribers to Scribehound.
It's a very personal thing, though, isn't it? It's the style of garden that you like. It's the setting, but it's also a little bit like the Anthony Bourdain, who did the Kitchen Confidential book. He did a whole thing about the best meal. He travelled the world looking for the best meal in the world, and it's not always down to the ingredients and who's cooked it. In a way, it's to do with the day, who you're with, the feeling that you got, what it's like, the light and the weather and all those things come in, and the time of year.
Yeah.
It all comes into effect in a garden in a way where something just becomes quite magical and sticks in your memory. So there's an interaction between you and the garden.
Yeah, and what's weird about it is that I can go and see it on a Monday and be really affected by it. You can come and see it on a Thursday and think, I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know what, because as you say, the light is different, or it's raining, or it's not raining, or whatever it is.
Or it's full of people.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like when I went to Rionji in Japan, which I have written about in Scribehound, I had a few moments by ourselves in front of this garden before it was ruined by a load of tourists, all with their earpieces going, oh yeah, we got to tick this one off the list, sort of thing, and really didn't get it at all and moved on, and that could have ruined that experience.
I think that's the same way. I mean, we're lucky in that we get to see gardens sometimes that other people don't get to see. We get to see it at different times because you've been invited to go and write about it or film it or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And so you get a sort of special sort of view of it. But then there are other gardens that are great because they've got people in them, and because it's about the sort of the way that maybe like going to Gibbard and to see a load of kids running around the place, that makes that garden even more special, doesn't it, really?
Totally.
And then there's other ones where you just want to go and sit and be on your own and then sort of enjoy it. There's a garden. Have you been to Tremonier? We've been to Tremonier together, haven't we?
No.
The sculpture garden in Cornwall, where there's like this sort of sky space. James Turrell's done the sky space on top of the hill.
Yes,
we have done that, haven't we?
Yes.
Yeah, and it's not hugely busy, and you go into this. It's a huge sculpture like an amphitheatre, and you go in there, and it's a little bit like a donut, in that there's a sort of seat that runs all the way around it, and then a hole in the roof, and you sit there and you watch the clouds scudder across the roof, or not across the sky,
across
above
the view. Yeah.
And sometimes they're grey, sometimes they're white, sometimes it's all blue, all of that kind of stuff.
Sometimes it's raining.
And that makes that garden special. Is that sort of?
But that's a sort of destination point. And I'd seen photos that you'd taken because you made it a sort of family pilgrimage every year. So I felt like I was on that family pilgrimage, and I almost knew it already.
Yeah.
But it was also a destination. See, I like the idea of a garden having a destination point. So okay, what makes what makes a garden great again? Is that
Yeah, what makes all gardens great again?
What makes all gardens?
I think all gardens are great to somebody. I think beauty is in the eye of the beholder, isn't it? Really,
yeah.
In that there's some gardens that we can go and see and think, wow, it's not that good, because we're looking at it as designers, but not all gardens should be looked at as designers. Some gardens just need to be looked at by somebody who just comes along and enjoys it and likes the idea of it and being there.
Completely. I was listening on my way up here. I was listening to Alan's piece. Can't remember what it's called, for Scribehound, which was looking at garden snobbery, really.
Yes.
And how designers go around, and there's trends and there's fashions and there's a snobbery. And him saying that someone's front garden just with sort of alliums and geraniums, and they're just growing and they're just doing their thing, and there's just something wonderful about that.
They're having a nice time doing it, really, aren't they? I think that there's another thing. I'm writing an article at the moment, not for Scribehound, but somebody else.
Oh,
I know, it's a little bit disloyal.
Keep your voice down.
About whether gardening is inevitable. Whether if you have a garden, you will inevitably become a garden, which is sort of become a gardener, which is sort of what Alan's saying as well. It's saying if it's there and it's beautiful and somebody likes it, then that is a great garden. But I think we should take it wider and think about, if we're talking about big gardens, open to the public, maybe historically significant, all that kind of stuff. Are they automatically great gardens?
No, not automatically, I wouldn't say.
No.
But they make up the stable of great gardens globally. But for me, I guess you have to break it down into what the elements of a great garden. What we would call. We've got to be pretty subjective here, right?
I think it's again. I think okay. I'm going to say that a great garden is something to which you feel an emotional attachment. It's something that you feel rather than just see and visit. Yeah. So other gardens that Scribehound writers are writing about. Jodie, I think, is writing about Great Dixter. Mm-hmm. That's is undoubtedly a great garden and has been for quite a long time. I think that Annie Guilfoyle is writing about Chanticleer.
Yeah, which I'd like to go to.
Which I've been to.
Okay.
But again, I could understand it. It's a great garden. I loved being there, but it was drizzly and a slightly miserable day when I was there.
Yeah.
Because, you only get one chance to go and see it. And I just think it's a great garden. I just really want to come back again when everything aligns and the weather sort of works for it. What makes a mega garden?
Yeah.
I think we've got to keep the slogan going.
The mega garden.
Mega garden. The mega garden. I think it's like we said before. I think the most important thing is to feel some sort of emotional attachment, feel a reason why you want to be there. That could be personal. It can be because you're blown away by the scenery or the magnificence of the planting or the architecture or the waterfalls, whatever it is, but something where you go there and you feel it. Mm-hmm. I think that's really, really important.
And it doesn't mean it has to be super grand and powerful necessarily at all. It could be complete opposite. But I like that. For me, there's also that sense of discovery and exploration. Yeah, you have to see it and then you want to move through it. You want to go and find bits and see little corners and be drawn around it.
Yeah, you want to be seduced by the garden. What you want is you want to arrive.
I want to be seduced by the garden, not seduced in the garden.
No. I mean that's an added option that would make you definitely feel a certain emotional attachment to it if that was the place where you lost your virginity or something along those lines. But what I'm talking about is you arrive at the garden, at the gates of the garden, and it's giving you a sort of come hither look, isn't it? Come on. This is the beginning. This is pretty. It's like spotting the love of your life across a crowded room, which my father used to talk about quite a lot. I'm not quite sure why.
Not to your mum, I hope.
No. He said, "Oh, you spot each other across a crowded room." I thought, "Okay, Dad." But you arrive at the entrance and you think, "Yes, I like this. I want to find out more. I want to have a conversation. which is what you're saying." Yeah,
but entrances, gateways, they're quite important, actually. Mm-hmm. The front of a house, maybe a driveway. The expectation, the build-up, and not being disappointed when you get there. There's nothing where, this is the build. Right, okay.
Yeah, no. My description that I've used before about this is that going through a garden should be like the dance of the seven veils, really, right, because what you don't want, the dance of one veil. Where you've got the whole lot in one go is no fun at all. You want to be brought around, so you go around a corner and it sheds another veil, and you go up a hill and it does something else. You go into a building. It's like you're saying, gateways, gaps in hedges.
Exploration, discovery. Okay, that's important.
Emotion,
exploration. For me, also, and this is key for British gardens, I guess in particular, is seasonality. Seasonality.
Yes.
Reflecting a glorious spring, a wonderful summer, autumn, winter, the whole thing. So that whenever you visit that garden, and ideally you do visit it more than once, or it's a garden that makes you want to visit it more than once because you think, that's going to be amazing in 3 months. It's not just a one-hit wonder, looks incredible for a couple of weeks. Oh, you missed it, should have been here last week. Oh, the wisteria was brilliant, or the laburnum walk was amazing. It has to have much more. So that's depth of planting. That's real gardening, actually, because you got, layering of plants and layering of seasons. And I guess that moves on to maintenance as well, because you have to...
Before you go to maintenance, what we're talking about in that bit is
I was heading straight off to the maintenance department.
Stay away from the maintenance department for the moment.
I was going to get a barrow.
You can hang on for a second. You can go and get a rake and God knows what else, and a shovel. In fact, there's a bit over there where there's a lot of dog poos. You can go pick them up for a start. We're talking about gardens that are open to the public here, really, aren't we? We're talking about big, not grand, but gardens that people go and visit that aren't their own gardens.
That are open, maybe not just not just for the National Garden Scheme one day. They're more accessible. They're more open. You can go,
and that's where the seasonality is. Like, so if you take the RHS Garden at Wisley, for example, really good example of every day that you go there will be something there.
Yeah.
And something, so that's a garden that works on seasonality. So seasonality, I think, is important. Okay, now you can talk about maintenance.
Oh, well,
you've forgotten
sort of put me off it, really.
No, because I think it's really important.
Well, gloves. I'll get some gloves as well. So I need goggles for this.
You need steel toe-capped boots and some goggles. Go and get your strimmer.
Shall I get my ear defenders?
All that.
While I'm there.
What?
No, the thing is that a garden is designed, is planted, and then it's what happens to it. Is it can go, hopefully it goes in the right direction, and there's a head gardener or someone in control of the creativity, the artistry, taking that garden forward, adding stuff, pruning stuff, tweaking stuff, and making it feel. And that is the wonderful thing about Great Dixter. You because there was Christopher Lloyd was there, now there's Fergus there, you're taking over the mantle, but keeping the sense of place, keeping the essence.
It's the personality.
The personality, feeling like there's a personality in the garden, rather than a landscape architect, garden designer has come along, drawn something up and it's planted, and okay, right, we're trying to look after it. It
has no spirit in that case. So I think what we're saying is there needs to be emotion, there needs to be seasonality.
Yeah.
It needs to be looked after with love.
For many years. Hundreds of years.
And the other thing, which I think is, again, we were talking about before, I think it's really important, is the story. A garden needs a story, whether that story is hundreds of years of history, like you get at Chatsworth or Blenheim or somewhere like that.
Or Villandry.
Or Villandry, exactly.
Yeah.
Or, and Versailles, and the fact that, Versailles went through an entire revolution at one point. The client had his head cut off, which doesn't often happen. We had to wait for the next one to come back.
Mind you, I'll tell you what, I better not go there at all.
Another day for that story. And a garden with a story is always much more captivating.
But that story it could be, well, we wanted this style of garden, or we saw this piece of land, or I wanted to make a garden somewhere. It could be, or there could be incredible history. It could include royalty or a lot of money, or it could just, there's a wonderful garden down in Somerset, and it's like the Christopher Lloyd thing. It's just someone who is just synonymous with that place.
Which one?
It's called Greencombe, and it's down near Porlock.
Oh, I haven't been there.
It's a lovely garden. Yeah, the woman died a few years ago, but the garden is carrying on, and it's a great garden. But you sense her. I filmed with her for Garden as well years ago. With her, did a sort of 1 hour special, and she was absolutely brilliant. And I've forgotten her name. Temporarily.
It'll come back in. Okay, so those are the essences.
Miss Lorraine, we call her.
Miss Lorraine. So I think that we've got the moot points required to make all gardens great again, as they have to have those things. And you don't have to have a huge garden, but it needs to tell a really good story. So
can I bring one other thing in? But I think
for goodness sakes, come on.
No, but I don't think some people would agree with this. Being a designer, there's a sort of scale and proportion thing going on. And it's to do with whether it relates back to the house or the wider landscape, or obviously those places of inspiration. But I think, things need the dimensions and how areas relate together, and how wide paths are and steps and all those sort of things.
But I would argue,
make a great garden, or can turn a great garden into a lesser garden, I guess.
Yeah, I would argue that if you hadn't got all the proportion right and it didn't feel right, then you wouldn't feel that emotional attachment to that garden. You go in there, you think there's something.
You're backtracking to the emotional thing. You're connecting
because I think
that.
That's the most important thing, and you're not going to get it.
You
if
get
it's
the
not
scale
well
and proportion right. You get the emotion right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't you think so?
Well, you're trying to sum it up. I can see we're out of time.
Yeah, we're basically we're trying to get there. Okay, just go and get. We're both going to get MAGA hats.
Yeah.
We're going to be walking around.
Yeah, we're going to walk around in our new MAGA hats. It's going to be brilliant. We don't want any abuse. Why would we get abuse from anybody?
Do you know what this is?
Yeah.
This is a merch opportunity.
Yeah, merch. Yeah. MAGA. Yeah.
Yeah.
Scribehound MAGA.
Scribehound MAGA hats.
Yeah,
to
do we
go
get
with
James
the
and Joe on the
Scribehound
back?
gnome.
James and Joe on the back.
No, but you can choose. You can have James or Joe.
Oh, that's a bit tricky.
Or you can have both.
Yeah.
You can walk around hand in hand. Or you can have Jekyll. James, Joe, and Jekyll.
James, Joe, and Jekyll.
It seems like the perfect triumvirate. I've got cards here, and I'm going to shuffle them.
How come you've got all the cards?
I've got all the cards.
Yeah.
I've got all the cards in my hand.
Shuffling doesn't make any
And
difference.
I'm going to deal them out as if they were cards. There's one for you,
Okay.
one for me. We're doing three.
One for me.
Three's not
Two
fair.
for you.
Three's not fair.
One for you, two for me.
Means we get to do one.
Oh,
Somebody
I'm
gets
just
to
gonna
do
go.
two.
I'm
Okay,
gonna-
go with yours.
Yeah, Janice, here you go. Straight away, Pennsylvania, US of A. Here in Pennsylvania,
Are you going to do it in an American accent?
we have a sneaker zucchini.
A what?
And that's my New York accent.
Okay.
We have a sneak a zucchini courgette to you on your neighbour's front porch day on August the 8th. Is that sneak one in or sneak one out?
Whatever it is, it sounds
Do you have
dubious.
something similar in Great Britain, or do you just abscond with your unwanted produce willy-nilly? Oh right, so
I got it.
you're getting rid of your courgettes. You got too many courgettes, and only on the 8th of August can you go and nick one from your neighbour.
No, you know what you're doing is you're dumping them on your neighbour. You've got too many. You sneak out under cover of darkness.
Who's doing the sneaking here?
Well, this is it's mildly confusing. So what's our listener's name?
Janice.
Janice. Okay, so as I see it, Janice is setting her alarm for early in the morning.
Yeah.
4:00 in the morning. It's still dark, although the first birds are beginning to sing.
Yeah.
She is going to her vegetable garden. She has got so many zucchini that she doesn't know what to do with them. So she's then getting a basket of zucchini, and then very quietly she's padding gently next door.
Yeah. It's
To where Martha
half past
lives.
4 by now.
It's 4:30. The light is coming up. She's got to hurry up.
Yeah.
Maybe she's crawling through the undergrowth and wriggling through a bush. She gets to Martha's front stoop. I think they call it in America. Don't they call it
Okay.
the stoop? And she leaves her courgettes there and she runs away as fast as possible. But the problem with this
Yeah.
is that when she gets back, she realizes that Martha has come around the other way with her courgettes.
Exactly.
And
That's the
dumped them on
problem.
her doorstep.
Everyone's
So
got the courgettes.
This is a kind of futile thing, isn't
But
it?
you're right. It is sneak a courgette on your neighbour's front porch. So you deliver to you. It's not you don't take going. I thought you went and stole one from your.
No,
neighbour's
they'd be
front
thrilled
porch.
if you
That's
stole
the Hackney
them.
in me. You see coming out. That is.
It's
So
like,
no, someone else just dumps one on your. They're just getting rid of their zucchini.
yeah,
So
basically.
okay, anyway, that's not the question.
We don't have
finally worked
anything.
out what's actually
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah.
Well done, James. But do we have anything similar?
No.
No, well, I don't want this taken off like trick and treating. I'll be honest with you.
No.
Trick and treating, that American, we used to have, Guy Fawkes, like we had Halloween, and then the trick and treating thing started.
Yeah,
and
no.
the thing is, there's no trick, okay? It's only treats.
I thought that people threw eggs at your house if you didn't give them treats.
Well, you see, we tried that once, and then we got told off.
By whom?
We used to do naughty stuff, and you got told off. So now you don't get a trick, do you?
No,
It's
nobody
just a
does.
treat.
You just get a treat.
Anyway, we don't want any of that going on. Do we
No.
have anything similar to that?
No, and I agree. I think that we should stamp this. We should cut it off immediately before it turns into something like that. And then we'll have shops that are selling courgettes, and you have to go off, and then you have to dress up as a vegetable in order to be able to go and deliver it, and all sorts of stuff is going on. I think this could go crazy.
Okay, well,
So we don't have anything, and I don't think we should have.
do you just abscond? So we abscond with your unwanted produce willy-nilly. That's
But-
what we do.
but we're
no,
gonna-
we don't. What we do is we ferment and we make
Yeah,
pickles.
we make
Yeah,
ratatouille and freeze
ratatouille.
it. I
We
love
fer-
a ratatouille.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I do something with courgettes with a Romanesco crust.
Do you?
Yeah.
I've never had that.
Well, I can't remember what it is now.
Sounds
I have
delicious.
made it before.
Oh, lovely.
So yeah, the Romanesco crust. I also made some courgette soup once that was really disgusting because it was sort
Yeah,
of like
sounds
slightly
it.
jellified and horrible. And that was not
Oh
so
no!
good.
And we've done the turning it into spaghetti and all that stuff.
But
or whatever you call
what
it.
we're going to do is we're going to give her a gnome.
Oh yeah.
Definitely gets a gnome for that
Well,
one.
I think she gets an just for coming from Pennsylvania.
Seems like a good
Actually,
enough
she gets a
reason.
Jekyll. Oh no, I've got the G. No, you can name your gnome anything you
Yeah,
want.
anything you want.
I
You
got
can
it, I
name
got
it
it.
something American. They
I
can
always
name
get
it
there in the end.
Benedict Arnold. No, that's probably not a good name for it. But who came from Pennsylvania?
Can we move on to the next question?
We're going to move on to the next question. Okay, this does not come from America. This is Pippa.
Okay.
Oh, nice. I like this.
It's not Pippa Greenwood, is it?
Well, who knows?
I hope it's not a pest and disease question from Pippa Greenwood.
Under the silver glow of moonlight.
Oh, nice.
I've discovered a rowdy band of badgers using my garden as their midnight thoroughfare, digging tunnels through my cutting beds, eating bulbs, feasting on windfall plums until they're tipsy, leaving chaos and questionable odours in their wake. While I admire their determination, I'd love humane ways to gently redirect these furry excavators. This is like a lot of Millwall fans after they've lost, isn't it? Going through East London. What clever, non-harmful tricks or barriers could persuade them to party elsewhere? Ideally, I'd like to protect both my plants and the badgers. Drunken hedge napping is no way to live. Suggestions welcome. Okay, so
it's a beautifully written and created question, but it is a traditional gardening question, isn't it? She's trying to work with the system here.
It's not a slug.
She's trying to work her way around the system with pests, diseases. It's a badger. It's wildlife. It's like squirrels. It's like foxes. It's like deer. Yeah. It's the same thing.
We don't do questions like that.
And how are we going to deal with this badger?
Okay, do you have a badger?
I haven't got a badger. No, I actually, in France, on my little camera, I saw a badger coming and eating. I'd left this big bag of sunflower seeds. And basically, every night, I started watching it. It turned up at the same time every night. And I saw this thing moving. I was like, what is that? And it was a bit grainy, the shot. So I couldn't see. Anyway, he made a hole in this bag and literally was like inhaling. Like his cheeks were puffed out. He was inhaling.
You sure it wasn't a hamster?
It was like he was smoking a great big bong or something. Honestly. No, and he was there for a week until he completely emptied this bag of sunflower seed.
What is the French for badger?
Oh, I learnt it as well, and now it does begin with a B.
Badger?
No, it's not a badger. But,
do you remember Bodger and Badger? It was a television program where my kids were growing up, and they ate mashed potatoes.
Right.
So I don't.
Well, maybe that's the answer.
Maybe that's the answer. I don't know what the answer is.
Maybe feed them some mashed potato.
Badgers, it's illegal to interfere with their ways. So there's nothing much we can do. We will, Pippa, send you a gnome for elegant English. And trying to pull the wool over our eyes.
Yeah, we see what you're doing here. But maybe you could just write a letter to the badgers in, a very, very long letter, and hope that they're gonna.
That they get really bored and go away.
Yeah.
Okay. So badgers. Thank you, Pippa, very much indeed. But that's that.
Okay. Moving on to the last question. Yes, it's a long one. Cheryl.
Do you want a short one instead?
It's definitely a Cheryl with a CH. Loving the podcast as I love to have listen on whilst pottering in the garden.
Yeah.
Question, that's not grammatically correct, but I'm going to blame Louis for the... I don't think he can't paste
transcribing.
It. Yeah, he's transcribing. Yeah, he's probably... Question for James and Joe.
Okay.
How do you obliterate weeds? Arg. I've cleared and dug over one of my borders to try and dig out the bane of bindweed. Are there any other ways to remove it without using WMD?
Weapons of mass destruction.
I know it will come back, as I couldn't dig out a 96-year-old apple tree to get the sneaky roots or have the energy to dig over my neighbour's garden. We're going all over the place here.
Cheryl.
Does digging it out as and when it pops back eventually weaken the bits left, or is it a glyphosate task?
No, Cheryl. This is dubious behaviour, Cheryl, to send in this question. We warned you. We asked you to send in only questions that were unboring and were not involving dead things. And what's she done? She's flaunted the rules.
She has flaunted the rules.
I mean, the answer...
it is an interesting subject, the organic versus the glyphosate. When you're first moving in, you've got bindweed and you've got weeds everywhere and all that, and what do you do and all that sort of... But we're not talking about it.
We're not doing that.
Well, I'm not talking about that.
No, we're not.
Not now.
We don't do that. But what we will say to her, I'm going to give her one small tip. If you keep pulling bindweed, it will give up in the end. But you have to pull every single bit of it.
How long was your longest root? 4'6" or something?
No, it's like taller than me.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
4 for 6.
No, a few weeks ago you
Yeah,
said
I
your
did.
longest piece.
I had one that
you
was,
had a
that was
root
taller
with
than
4
me.
foot 6.
Yeah, so it's tracing it up.
I've got Bindweed at the moment. You do have to keep going on it.
You just
do.
keep at it. You
Oh,
keep
look,
at
now
it.
we're going into traditional.
I know, stop it. Okay, Cheryl. I think we love
I'm
you.
calling her Cheryl.
I thought it's like Cheryl, like in Bucks Fizz.
Making your mind
Making
up.
your mind up. Have we sung that already on this podcast?
Yeah,
I think
because I told you
haven't we?
about my Brotherhood of Fizz experience.
That's the one, exactly. Okay, well, Cheryl, maybe it's the Cheryl. If it's the Cheryl, we'll go and pull your
no,
Bindweed out
careful,
for you.
James.
Okay, that's
Right.
that. Right. So I think that we got to the end of this particular podcast. I think it's quite exciting the fact that all of the 30 writers on Scribehound will be writing about a garden that means a lot to them throughout August. So I suggest that everybody goes and subscribes to Scribehound Gardening. And then they will be able to read and listen to their favorite writers talking about their favorite gardens. I think that's quite nice. But in the meantime, we're going to leave you. And we will be back again next Tuesday, where we will be talking about something that we're not quite sure what it is yet. In the meantime,
Goodbye.
goodbye.
Oh, I got that bit right.